It's very weird that for someone like myself who would be considered an Unga Bunga gamer, like I said, Unga Bunga, because I love action games and I love action RPGs, would also be such a big JRPG fan. One of the best games of all time to me was Persona 5 Royal, and even Persona 5 itself, and that took me about, well, to be fair, that took me about probably about over 240 hours to actually get the platinum in both games. I never knew about Persona before that time. I never knew about Persona or even Atlus to begin with. I'm just being transparent with you guys. And I've now become such a massive fan of this genre and this developer. I've always been into JRPGs, but I've never been so into, I haven't played as many JRPGs as I have over the past decade or so, just because of how great these games are. So as soon as a game like Metaphor Refantazio was announced, I was all in on this bad boy, bruv. With the demo now available for everyone to play, I can safely say, without a doubt, this will be a game of the year contender and could possibly be game of the year, depending on how things go and depending on how people feel about this. But you know what? Let's talk about it. Men and women of culture, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Senzu. We are back with another video. Do make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share if you can. All the links to all my social media channels will be in the description box down below. Thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you for the support. And now without further ado, we're going to hop back into the video of why I think Metaphor Refantazio would be a Game of the Year winner. Or contender, depending on who you ask. Now, since this is a demo, this is the disclaimer. Now, since this is a demo, and some people are probably waiting to play this game on release, I won't be putting in any of my gameplay videos to avoid spoilers and things like that. Everything in this video will be from promotional videos and stuff like that. Now, without further ado, let's hop into what I truly love about this game and some things I think could be better, depending on who you ask. Metaphor Refantazio is a classic turn-based RPG game that is set in a fantasy world with the mechanics of your beloved Persona games, such as your social links, unlocking new personas, tough battles, and obviously a story that's so compelling that you could obviously cry about all the things and all the things it talks about. It covers a lot of topics such as discrimination and obviously death, which is evident in this demo alone. I'm pretty sure there are more themes in this game that I could talk about, but with over just 5 hours in the demo, this is the main theme that I can see being highlighted in the game. An issue some people have when it comes to turn-based RPG games like Persona, like your Final Fantasies and whatever you have now, is that the combat in itself could be considered slow or boring. And I think can all say that the best solution to that problem is what we've seen in games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Final Fantasy VII Remake, with its mix of turn-based and action-based combat and how everything intersects well and is so fluid and everything else. Now, you see, Metaphor tries to resolve this as well by introducing a mechanic in the game where you can engage in real-time combat to gain an advantage against the enemy. Now, once that's achieved, you then transition into the typical turn-based RPG gameplay. It also does something I haven't actually seen before in other games, such as introducing some level of taxi with having a front row and back row characters. So essentially, if a character is in the front row, you're able to output a lot of damage, but your damage intake is crazy high. Whereas if your character is in the back row, you don't output as much damage, but you also don't receive as much damage as well. So it's a mix of figuring out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and also putting things in consideration as to, oh, hey, this character is very good at spells, but this character is also a glass cannon. I might as well put him in the back row as opposed to putting him in the front row, because if he's in the front row, he's probably going to be killed multiple times. The game clearly wants you to also try as many strategies as you possibly can, because there's also a restart button during every single fight sequence. So clearly, you can try as much, you can experiment with so many things as you want, because hey, the game is literally telling you experiment as much as you possibly can. Now, there's just something really special when it comes to Atlus and Studio Zero with just how they present their games, with just how sleek the presentation of their games are when it comes to UI, when it comes to art style, when it comes to the cinematography, if you can call that, because I know they go for like a very anime-esque art style with these games. These are all JRPGs, but they all look very well. They all look so exceptionally well made, and Metaphor Refantazio is no different. I would even consider Metaphor Refantazio to probably be the best aesthetically pleasing game when it comes to the UI design. Now, when it comes to the art style, because this is meant to stray out of a book, some people might consider this very in your face, because, oh yeah, this is meant to be taken from a book. You can tell that, yeah, it's very cel shaded in a way. But I think that's the beauty about this game, because with the premise of the game story, which I'm not going to touch on because I think the story makes or breaks this game for anyone, I just think it makes more sense why this game looks like it's straight out from a book as opposed to maybe a very realistic JRPG game like maybe a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or a remake. And even then, realism depends on who you ask. So when it comes to this game, right, what I'm very skeptical on is how compelling the main antagonist is. Like, obviously the main antagonist is meant to be the bad guy, but the thing about games like this, and things when it comes to video games, when it comes to JRPGs or just RPGs in general, what makes or breaks the game for me has to do with how compelling the character is, how compelling the antagonist is. The protagonist is going to be someone you're going to fall in love with, well, pause, but someone you're going to actually really enjoy playing as. But what really matters to me comes down to how compelling the antagonist is as a person. Can I relate to him even though he does a lot of shitty things and stuff like that? Is he a good person? Is he a bad person but also has good intentions as well? It's the complicated conflict between good and bad that I look for in these types of games. And I'm expecting so much from Metaphor Refantazio because it touches on so many heavy topics that I'm expecting this to play well. I'm expecting this to essentially be executed well. We'll find out on October 11th, but as far as the demo is concerned, I think everyone should give this a play. I don't know, if you're still watching this video, you should have played this by now. Honestly speaking, it's that good of a game, it's that good of a demo. Slow paced at first, but this is how all these Persona games are. They start off slow, introduce you into the mechanics, introduce you into the different archetypes, which are meant to be like your personas, introduce you into the mechanics, and then once you get comfortable with them, and once you're done with just, okay, fine, you know the basics of how things work, you know how to strategize, things like that, it opens up. But I think this game will probably be a Game of the Year contender. Now, a Game of the Year winner though, we'll see how it is after the 11th, October 11th. But what do you guys think? Leave in the comment section down below what you think about Metaphor Refantazio. This is just my very quick impressions, my quick outlook on the game, what I'm expecting this game to do. I told myself I was going to talk about this game to you guys because I'm like, oh yo, this is a game that I want to enjoy by myself. But at the same time, you're my guys, you're my supporters, you're my people, my guys, my ladies, I think this game is going to be very special, depending on who you ask. But what do you guys think? Leave in the comment section down below what you think about the game. If you played the demo, how long have you put in? If you're not playing the demo, how much are you looking forward to the game? Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope to hear from you soon. Peace out.